you this morning? Little bonus video here. I've been asked, how do I get to where I can change chords more quickly and easily? And the short answer is, well, it takes practice. But there's a hidden part behind that. People say practice makes perfect, but it needs to have a little added to it. It's actually perfect practice makes perfect. If you practice the wrong things, you get really good at doing the wrong things. So hopefully in this video I can give you a couple of things to work on, to practice on, to help you to get better at changing chords, to go from one to another. Now let me tell you this, it is a lifelong struggle. Now I've been using these 4 chords for a long time, and so I can change between them real quickly. But when I learn a new chord, and I throw a new chord in the mix, then that is a new game, and I have to use these techniques that you and I are going to talk about today to put these chords into my repertoire where I can change to them quickly. The first thing is, learn the shape of the chord, learn how to play them without muting any strings, without it sounding like that. That's step one. As long as it takes you, you get to where you can put your fingers on the fretboard That's the first step. Until you get to where you know what that chord is supposed to sound like, and you can play it without touching or muting any other strings. That's step one. Now, once you can do that, no matter how long it takes you to get positioned, then the next step is to practice moving from one chord to another. Let's say if you've got the G chord down, then just practice going from the G to the C for a while. And if you can figure out economy of motion to get from one to another, don't play the G and then take your hand down and then start placing your fingers to the C. Look at the G chord and then look at the C chord, and you'll see that, okay, these 2 fingers are pretty much in the right position. They're just on the wrong strings. They just have to jump down 1 string, and then you lift this pinky and put your index finger up here. So yeah, okay, do that. And instead of taking that off and now saying, okay, this one here and this one here and this one here, these 2 move as a unit down to the C, and the index finger hits that note. And then practice that for a while. Because the goal is, instead of placing each finger individually and figuring that out, the goal is to be able to move your fingers as a unit where they just fall in the right place. And that comes through repetition, through building muscle memory in your fingers. So once you get that G to C, then figure out, how am I going to go from G to D? You have to pick up, and that's none of those fingers anchor in that move. They all travel to get somewhere else. So and just do that over and over again. Then start from the C, and okay, how do I get to the G from here? Well, it's just the backwards of what we were doing a minute ago, from the G to the C. These 2 just have to move up here, and your pinky falls on this string down here, and there it is. And from the C to the D. Same thing. That one has to move here. This one moves over here. This one falls down here. Just see where they're traveling and go back and forth. Don't forget about going to the E minor. Now, if you're fingering the G going to the E minor, you can leave this finger here and just pick this one up and drop it next to it. Or if you're going from the D to the E minor, you got a couple of choices there. You can either just take these two off of here and move them up here. You can move those two fingers there. It's whatever works for you. And honestly, I've been doing this for a while now, and sometimes I'll come like that. Sometimes I'll go like that. I don't even realize what I'm doing. I just know that I need to be holding those two down. I need an E minor sound, and that's how I get it, because it's become automatic over thousands and thousands of repetitions. Now, something else you can do, if you're sitting watching TV, you can do this without bothering anybody else. You can just practice doing those movements without anybody being with you. G to C, G to D, G to E minor, G to C, G to D, G to E minor. You can just practice those without even strumming, but get your fingers used to traveling those. Then go C to G, C to D, C to E minor, C to G, C to D, C to E minor, D to G, D to C, D to E minor, E minor to G, E minor to C, E minor to D. Just run through that and practice that. You can do that without bothering anybody else. You don't have to say that out loud, but just kind of go through that drill, getting used to moving your fingers as a unit and not starting all over and forming the chord. You'll never be able to change quickly if you're putting the fingers down individually. They need to go as a unit. And you'll get there. It takes practice. It takes work. Then the next step beyond that, once you get to where you can do that, is you can download a metronome app on your phone or your tablet. There are apps over there. Apps on you can get one on your computer and play a metronome. Start out very slowly, maybe 30, 40 beats per minute, and just play along with that. And just, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. But the metronome keeps you honest, and that is a tricky step to go to that place. But if you want to really get efficient and fast at changing between chords, that's the path that will get you there. It takes putting in the time, putting in the work, but it is something that is available. It is accessible to everyone who will put in the work. So I hope this helps. I hope this gets you further down the road. And once again, I appreciate getting the question by email. And if you've got questions, anything that you need help with, don't hesitate to let us know, because we're here to help you enjoy your guitar journey. God bless, and we'll see you soon.